Okay, the took portion this week. I think this is where we bring it all home to them and where they are can apply these things in their own life. Um, and it's just from real easy 4 little steps. In your journals, record who the governing authorities are in your life. Um, I mean, obviously, their parents. Some of them are going to have many authorities in their life, and some of them are even going to be conflicting a little bit, and you might be able to get into some discussions over that kind of thing. If you have a kid in a class that has their parents are divorced, and maybe there's a dad and a stepmom, and then a mom and a stepdad, and maybe they don't see eye to eye, how are they supposed to submit to both if they're getting conflicting things from both of them? I think those are going to be good conversations to have. Um, that obviously parents are their authority. Talk to them about teachers. Are there specific teachers that you have issues with? How are you to submit to them in those situations? Number two, who has instituted these authorities? Always come back to the fact that God has ordained authorities in their life, and they are for a purpose. And it's not like just because somebody got hired at the school and therefore a teacher's been made their authority that God had no control over that. God had control what family they were born into, what school they're in, who their employer is. All of that is overseen by God, and He has a hand in it. So they're to be for the good and not for the bad for us. Lists ways you can submit to governing authorities for the glory of God and for your good. I touched on this a little bit on Wednesday night, but I think it deserves repeating. And just the fact that in these scenarios, um, most teenagers um, have friends that are not going to understand if they are submitting to an authority maybe that is incorrect or an authority that they don't agree with. So anytime they are able to submit, it's going to be confusing to people around them that are not believers. And in those moments, they have the opportunity to say, "This is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm laying down my rights, and and I'm submitting to my parents because God has put them in authority over me, and I will do as they say." Because it's good for me, and because God has said that it will be good for me. And in those situations, no matter whether they're with a parent or a teacher or an employer, all of those cases we have a chance to say, I'm not doing this because they are right or correct. I'm doing this because I want people to know that my life has been changed by God, and that I'm not like everyone else anymore. And He is the one that is making you new on the inside. So, like every situation in which you submit has the possibility of the opportunity of testimony to God's greatness and to His order of things and our submission to Him as God. So, make sure you don't pass over that one. It's really, really important. List ways you can submit to governing authorities. I already did that. I'm sorry, that's the one we just went over. What should you do when it is especially difficult to submit to a particular authority in your life? Brass tacks, what am I going to do in this scenario? Let them give you some for instances and work through them with them. And please make sure that you always go back to what we have established here, that God is the ultimate authority. He's put them in place for our good. We're to submit to them even in difficulty, because if not, like even our judgments can be skewed by what we view as injustice in some cases. So we always want to go back to the authority of the Word of God and to make sure that our answers and our guidance to them is based on what it says and not on our feelings at the moment. So anyway, if you have any questions or concerns, give me a call. I'm excited about this as we get into specifics. We're going to look more at individuals, like how do you submit to your parents in particular? How do you submit to the church? All of these things are going to be very vital to them, and I think we have a real opportunity to make inroads into some hard issues here that maybe would remain covered up if we didn't go over this kind of stuff. So, anyway, God bless. I'm praying for y'all this week, and thank you all so much for what you do investing in these kids. And I'm just praying that God will use the hour that you have with them on Sunday to change your heart. So, see y'all later.